Hello, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap again, and I'm continuing my series of basing soaps on paintings that I've done. And this has one more step to it in that a friend of mine is a great photographer and went out to the Salton Sea and took this great picture of this model standing near the lake. So I made a painting of that, and today what I'm going to do is try to use that as inspiration to make a soap. Again, it has a lot of detail that I don't think I can accomplish in the soap, but I looked at it as pure inspiration for the colors and maybe some different kinds of swirls to give some of that kind of feel to it. So we're going to give it a shot, and again, I like to experiment. That's how you find out new kinds of ways of doing things. So I'll be right back with you in a bit. Thanks. Okay, everything's all ready. I've got a lot of things in the oils today. I've got all my oils, and I've got kaolin clay, and I've got powdered goat milk that I have already diluted with distilled water, and now I'm adding the lye solution. Someone was sharp enough to catch that I have this really weird old spatula that's sort of like my favorite though, because when I'm dissolving the lye and stirring it, this flat part rests against the bottom, and I can kind of I feel like I'm dissolving the lye with help of that flat part of the spatula. So maybe it's just time to get a new spatula though. So my way of getting the bubbles out of the bottom of the blender is to stir it around like this. Turn it to the side. And I really don't want to blend that very much at all today, because I've got a lot of things to do with it. This is the shea butter. Everything's at about 100 degrees. So I'm going to try to find my friend's photograph and ask him permission if I can use that when I show this video, to show the transition from photo to painting, and then from painting to soap. And I thought pure sandalwood would be appropriate for this soap for some reason. That smells really good. Okay, that's all I'm going to do right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to start with my main batch, which is going to be this light blue. So you look at the painting, you'll see that most of it is surrounded by this sky that blends with the water. And so I want to get this one going first and get it in the mold. Again, I'm using my Essential Depot red mold that I really like. And the first thing is to get about half of this into the mold. And you can see air bubbles as I pour. So let me pat that down a little. Okay, and I made this new gizmo with a paper towel roll. And I'm just experimenting again. It does fit snug, but I want it to fit snugly. And I'm going to immerse it a little bit into the soap. And what I wanted to try to do with this, because there's a symmetry to the model's reflection in the lake, that I wanted to try to do a symmetric swirl. So I'm thinking if the colors roll down the side of the tube on either side, I'm going to have sort of identical swirls, or that's at least the point of the experiment. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my green in there. other color is ready as well. And the other color I want is black. This is a black oxide. Oh, and soap is getting hard already, so I gotta get going. Might be the sandalwood that's speeding up on me here. Mix that a little later. Get my other colors going. Starting with my green. And this is going to be followed by the black. More of a brown. Okay, I'm going to do the white last. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let me stir that a little first. It's still more liquid than I at first saw, so I was getting nervous about that. So stirring the soap like this, I can see some bubbles emerge, which is a good reason for stirring, and also to get it to be as fluid as possible, especially for a swirl. Make sure it's going on both sides. And then the black. My ochre that I added too much brown to, so it's not as yellow as I wanted, but that's okay. The picture has some rocks in it that are kind of dark in nature, so this will just be the color I'm going to live with. And repeat that color combination, starting with the green. I'm trying to get the pour to go right on top of the tube, but it has its own mind. It wants to go where it wants to go. I'm be really interested in see what this is going to do. It's not going to be symmetrical like I thought it was going to be. Oh. And I'm going to reserve some of the soap for the top. Black. Add another black row. Okay, the other thing that I thought I had that I was going to do is start to lift this up. I'm just going to take this whole thing out. Okay, now I know there's a lot of soap on there, but I don't want to just scrape that all in there because I don't want to disturb the lines. Okay, and I'm going to go back to the base color. Alright, so it didn't solidify or get too hard, which is good. And I'm going to, because of the lake and the sky, the horizon line is so flat, I'm going to try to just pour this onto the spatula so it doesn't really sink in too much. That's going to be good. It's just hard enough that it's not going to just sink in like it was really fluid. Who knows what's going to happen, but that's why I like soap making, because there's always this mystery to it. Okay, if you remember, I still have this white. So let me stir that with the spatula. Oh, it's not solidifying. I'm so happy about that. What I just did off camera is just clean up my blender a bit. Again, this is an off-white. That's okay. And I want to drop swirl this in. Let me pound this down first. See the little bubbles in there. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but that's something that we soapers really don't like in our soap. So let me try to stir those out. Pouring from a high, so I think the thing in common with most of the soaps that I've done on videos so far is that they're a combination of different techniques. So this one's basic layering, and modification of like a tiger swirl, drop swirl, and of course swirling is always messy. Okay, now I think maybe I'll combine another technique and do a little bit of a spoon swirl. Of course it's not a swirl, but it's the handle end of a wooden spoon. And I noticed that got some more bubbles out too. Let me give this a pound down and just do the top. Let's see. I think I want the darkest color on the bottom so it'll be most hidden. So there goes my black. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a mantra type swirl too, because to me that lake being so peaceful, there's nothing else out there, just reminds me of a kind of zen, quiet like atmosphere. So zen and mantras can make that connection for my soap. Smells really good, like sandalwood should. Okay, that's good. The brown. I'm so happy this didn't thicken up on me. Okay, that's good. Let me pound that down. So of course that gets some additional bubbles out, but it's also good to get all the peaks from those less pores flat, especially if you're going to do something like a mantra swirl. So let's do this. I also wanted more earthy colors in this soap. My last one was pretty wild. And I just hope that there's not too many techniques involved with this, because you can go overboard, I think. Let's go down like this. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Bend this closer, take a look. And I'll do the cutting video tomorrow, see how this all turned out. So thanks again for watching. This is Clyde for Vibrant Soap, and we'll see you soon. Bye.